Hey, how are you all this afternoon, or this morning, or this evening, depending on where you are in the world? Hope you're all well. Thought I'd have a quick chat today about curbing hunger cravings. I have 2 tips for you to share. If you'd like some more, feel free to PM me. I have a few more tips, but I'm just going to cover 2. A few weeks ago, I actually experienced this myself. I felt hungrier than normal and kept going for the snacks and stuff, and I couldn't work out why. And it wasn't till I sat down in a health group and we set some health goals for the month of June that I finally figured it out. One of my health goals was to consume at least 2.5 litres of water a day, and then when I actually started monitoring it, I was barely keeping pace. I think I have it on paper here. So my first day was 1.1 litres, which fell far short of my minimum kind of goal for that. And the next day was 1.5, then 1.6, then 2.2. It took me a while to build up to that. Anyway, so this leads me to my number 1 tip about curbing hunger cravings. The first one is make sure you're hydrated, really hydrated, because our brain can actually confuse dehydration for hunger. One way to be able to recognize that is if you're reaching, or if you're thinking, oh gosh, I'm hungry, and you go to your pantry or you go to your fridge and you stand there looking and going, I don't know if I feel like that, or don't really know what I want. If you find yourself in that position, then you're probably dehydrated, so go and opt for some water instead. Most people don't consume enough fluids in a day. So I've got a good guide here, is 35 to 45 mils per kilo of body weight per day. As a minimum guide, that is going to vary, of course, if you're exercising or if it's the middle of summer and it's a hot day, but that's a good minimum guide. 35 to 45 mils per kilogram of body weight. Tip number 2 for curbing hunger cravings is consuming foods that increase satiety. Those are foods that help you feel fuller for longer, and the number 1 for that is protein. Number 2 is probably fibre, but I focus more on protein for myself. So if you actually add more protein to your diet, you should feel fuller for longer, and you should actually end up then eating less at your next meal generally. It's important to keep in mind that the best results will come from actually pacing the protein out throughout the day, rather than just consuming your day's worth of protein in one main meal, which is something that we often tend to do. I know when I was growing up as a kid, it was always meat and 3 veg every night, and throughout the day was all very kind of carby and starchy and salty foods, and probably didn't really work very well, did it? If you think of school kids and the way they run out of energy in the afternoon and that might be why we just didn't get the protein throughout the day. So pacing your protein throughout the day can actually help you with releasing weight as well, by the way. It's not that hard to do. So some examples on how to do it would be, say, having leftovers from the night before for your breakfast or for your lunch, even for snacks through the day. But it's really getting that first meal of the day starting with some protein. I know before I decided to improve my health, I was actually eating a lot of toast every morning, toast with peanut butter and jam on it, and toast with Vegemite on it. So basically all I was eating was, I did actually eat wholemeal bread, not that that's any different, but I was just eating carbs and sugar and salt every morning, and kind of wondering why I struggled with weight and struggled with energy so much, and that would be one of my number 1 reasons why back in those days. So going back to how to pace your protein out throughout the day, try to have it for your 3 main meals instead of the 1 main meal. So you can do things like eggs for breakfast. You can even have boiled eggs for snacks or for lunch. Can of tuna in your lunch, cold meat with salads, fill up on salads, protein-based smoothies can, depending on what you buy and how you make them, they can be a complete meal or just a snack perhaps. And snacks that contain protein and some fibre can also help with helping you feel fuller for longer. If you don't actually eat enough protein in the day, your body and brain will push you towards eating more carbs and starches to make up for the protein that you're not consuming, which is then obviously not going to help you feel fuller for longer. I've always found eating carbs it's like you run out really quick, you get hungry really quickly. When I was having the toast and that for breakfast every day, I was hungry within an hour. A recommended daily intake for protein is around 0.75 grams per kilo of body weight, but if weight loss is your goal, then increase that to around 1.2 grams per kilo of body weight, and remember again to pace it throughout the day. And probably as a final remark, drinking water before a meal can actually help reduce your appetite or make you eat a little bit less if you're worried about overeating through a meal. I hope this was helpful to you. If it was, please feel free to share with some people, and again, reach out to me if you'd like a couple more tips. And I hope you have a good day, and I'll check the comments in a minute and answer any questions or get back to your comments in a moment. I've actually covered them over, otherwise I'll lose my train of thought. Anyway, talk to you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.